Nashville, Tennessee elementary school shooter. Let's take a look. Now, before we start talking about the guy, I wanted to get you guys' opinion. What do you guys think about this picture? Are we looking at a boy or girl? What are we looking at?
I mean, I was under the assumption that we're looking at a girl, but you said something about a guy, so I'm not sure if we're looking at a girl who transitioned to a guy or a guy who transitioned to a girl, or now I'm not sure, but I thought we were looking at a girl.
Oh, I mean, it looks like it looks like a guy, like a preppy guy, like a cute guy, but he's mad. He's looking crazy. And now it changed the subject. Shit.
That's one of the problems in the news today, that they're claiming this is transgender, but they're not being specific. So I think it leaves us confused. Like, what are we looking at? Is this a boy that turned into a girl or a girl that turned into a boy? So this doesn't fit the narrative the channels are trying to pitch to us. Now, let's listen up to the story. Here's the story. The black conservative here put it in his own words. Let's listen up.
The shooter has been identified as Audrey Hale, who's apparently transgender. Let's read it. Nashville police identified the shooter who opened fire on Monday morning at...
Sorry, let me slow it down. I got it at top speed.
That shit
Public
normal,
school as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, a transgender woman and former student at the private Presbyterian school. 3 children and 3 adults were murdered in the shooting, which began at roughly 10:13 a.m. and lasted for 14 minutes. Police identified the victims as Evelyn Dickhouse, 9, Hallie Scruggs, 9, William Kenny, 9, Cynthia Peak, 61, Catherine Combs, 60, and Mike Hill, 61. Again, rest in peace.
So 3 adults killed and 3 children killed. Insane. Now, in all the history, all I know, I never heard of a woman going into a school and shooting up the place or shooting anything up. So my belief is that's a man that turned into a girl and just lost their mind and they committed those sins. What's your take? Yeah, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay.
So yeah, they said transgender woman, so that does mean that he was born as a male and transitioned into a woman. So as of right now, I guess we can say no biological woman has done a mass shooting that I know of.
True. My opinion, she wanted to do the soldier boy. She wanted to be the first transgender to shoot up the place. Because to be honest, that is weird. They call it a day too. As the police arrived to the school, they encountered. The hell, man? Just go ahead,
Jay.
Yeah. So something that I want to point out. How come? And this is just a segue, real quick. How come we're looking at yet another shooter, but it's still an issue if we want to talk about gun laws and regulation, and why is that subject always swept under the rug? And we see kids getting killed in schools, and it just keeps going.
Sorry.
That's a good question. I think it's just the lobby. They want to make money. The gun law. Now more people are going to buy guns. They're going to be people with non-guns, with guns. They're going to go at it, and the governments keep it silent under the rug, like you said, Jay. You're right. They're putting it just in the hush-hush.
Before talking about that, let me just give a shout out to the cops. They did a good job going in there and taking care of that perp. Getting rid of that guy that was killing children and adults. So they did a good job because other news reports show the other shooting where the police were slow. They didn't do their job and a lot of people complained, but not this time. This time the police went in and they took care of things. So shout outs to the cops for that, And then when it comes to gun laws,
That's fair.
take a look at how the president reacted or what was expected of the president. Take a look at this clip.
Police and certainly being able to neutralize the suspect in that period of time is great. However, it does go to show you that the weakness to that.
Bill, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm told that the president is just approaching the podium now in the East Room of the White House.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole
Is that for
refrigerator
real?
upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you,
What the fuck
pal?
is he talking about?
One of the best guys in the United States
Exactly.
Congress, Ben Cardin.
The fuck, Sneaky Joe?
This is the leader of the United States. A mass shooting just happened. He's expected to talk about it, and look what he's doing. Fumbling around like an old man, lost and confused and doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Man, what the fuck?
Yo, he's talking about ice cream. Oh, fuck.
And then that was, and look, the news,
Folks,
they end up going back to the reporting because they couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? This is the news.
are your kids all
Look at
four of
this.
them? Well, stand up, guys.
How the hell we gonna stand up?
John,
for
we'll
your
jump back
ass?
in here. Considering the moment,
Like you.
We were
there's a
told
school
that the
shooting that just happened, left 3 children dead, 3 adults dead, shooters dead, and we were told he would be addressing this off the top.
She used to be 3 years
Yeah, it's rather surprising. I thought that a somber President Biden would have come to the podium here and addressed this school shooting.
My campaign.
He's yucking it up with the crowd at the East Room. So why don't we dump out of this, and when the president decides that he's going to address this, we'll jump back into it.
That's insane. That man just
Yo, we
lost his mind. Go ahead, Jay.
Yo,
what
we
you
looking
think?
bad. We looking bad out there. What you think about that, Jay? Damn.
So, I'm wondering if he was actually aware of what happened as he was doing that. Because I do think that there is a possibility that he was up there looking like a goofball and wasn't even, his people didn't even make him aware of that shooting. That's a possibility.
That's true.
Because remember, when 9/11 happened, Bush was with some kids in an elementary school, I think it was, and someone, from the Secret Service came and told him, hey, this is going on, and then he reacted. But before that, he was just reading books with little kids before they told him. So I think that it is quite possible that Biden wasn't even aware of this.
Oh yeah, that's true. I agree. It looks like he wasn't, but damn, somebody should have saved him.
Yeah, somebody should have said, yo,
Yeah,
homie.
somebody said like, yo, homie, like, yo, you mixing shit. Hold on, let's go commercial.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, damn.
Somebody on his team definitely dropped the ball on that. That's for sure. Well, I just want to say, if he is a bit senile, you should not say fuck him, because being senile is not something that you have control over. So that's
true.
not fair. I'm just saying, us being good people and all that.
Yeah, we throwing it out there, Good Samaritan.
All right,
Yo, but
circling
I
back.
hope-
Go ahead.
I hope that nobody, listening to this, news about the shooter, no other copycat transgender try to do that, because you will get shot. Because you know how they start copying one thing and try to do the same thing, be the first and the second. Hopefully, the gun law changes and nobody do this crazy shit that just happened. That's all. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, good message. You're right. And if this was a transgender individual, they're giving him a lot of respect on the news and everywhere, calling him by the pronoun that they prefer. I think they keep saying she. But this was just a sick individual. Anytime you have anybody shooting, we got problems. You want to take a look at how the cops reacted to this real quick?
Well, first I want to ask a question before before that reaction. So the transgender thing, I personally don't have an issue. I feel like anyone can be what they want to be. They can feel how they want to feel. I don't have a problem with that. I do have an issue with the fact that someone who is transgender wants me to view them as they view themselves. That's not fair. You should not force me. As long as I respect how you feel about yourself, that should be enough. You should not force me. If you were born a man, you should not be mad at me for seeing you as a man, even though you see yourself as a woman.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have your same point of view. I should simply respect it.
Yeah, good point there. What do you think about that, Noel?
Here's a question that generally gets asked. How many sexes are there? What's your take, Jay?
What? I mean, it's true.
With the whole
Man and
LGBTQ
female.
plus, that's a big argument. There was a young lady running for to be a judge, and they asked her, "Can you define a woman?" Something simple as that, and she couldn't do it because now they're trying to say that there's more than two sexes, and that's cuckoo for Cocoa
I mean,
Puffs. That's
but
crazy.
you know why she did it? Because she didn't want to be canceled. Because nowadays the good thing to do is cancel somebody. They put you in the in the side like Andrew Tate. They'll do an Andrew Tate on your ass. You know what I'm saying? You will disappear because you have a different opinion.
The thing is that we can say, well, how many sexes are there biologically, and it's only two. So we can get into all the, woke culture or modern way of seeing things and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, if you take someone and, they die of age or whatever, and you look for their bones 100 years later, and a doctor studies their bones, they won't be able to determine how that person felt they were in their heart. They'll only be able to determine biologically what that person was. So every single transgender person, if their bones are looked for in the future, they will be what they consider misgendered because they will not be, seen as what they saw themselves. They will see as what they were biologically.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, Jerry, you dropped a bomb flex on their ass, boo.
It's a big conversation. It's a long conversation. Definitely could take up a whole episode. So let's just briefly take a look at how the cops reacted or answered questions during the press briefing.
Our investigations tell us that she was a former student at the school. I don't know what grade she's attended or grades, but we do firmly believe she was a student there.
Does she identify as transgender?
She does identify as transgender, yes.
Is there any reason to believe the shooter first went to the church before going to the school?
I can't give you that information, Lunsha. We know that the minute the calls came in, we responded to the church, to the school.
There were two officers that went in when they first got there. So how many there was on the first interview?
So it was 5 officers that immediately went in and addressed. We have video that we're going to release, but you can see in the video, you can hear gunfire going on as they're in the school. They address the threat and take that threat down.
And Chief, what do you know about the weapons?
So we know there were 2 AR-style weapons, one a rifle, another was an AR-style pistol, and the other was a handgun. We believe 2 of those may have been obtained legally, locally here.
Can you confirm that one of the adult victims, Cameron Peaks, was head of the school?
Was what?
Was head of the school?
There was some, I don't know her exact capacity within the school, but it was higher up in the echelon.
And were any of the children victims related to any of the school staff?
Unsure. I believe one may have been, but I can't confirm that.
Did the shooter have any criminal history at all?
No history at all.
And no motive at this point? Anything discovered in the apartment or house?
I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna make the face.
Sorry for the audio. It sounds, speed up, but how the hell she got an AR though? I thought they banned that weapon. Interesting.
I don't know if they banned it, but back to the conversation you were having about guns. In my opinion, this is a big country, and people from the city don't realize the importance of guns in small towns. Meaning, if you live in a house that's 30 minutes away from a precinct, so that means a cop getting to your emergency may take a while. It is necessary to have a gun to protect yourself against perpetrators, But we grew up in a city where people live on top of each other, a lot of people. And yes, they have laws prohibiting guns, like in New York City, where nobody's allowed to have a gun. But in small towns, I think they're necessary, and they have helped a lot of people in community. That's my point of view. Jay.
So I just want to respond to that. I think that guns is something that people actually need in every single state in the whole country. I think that the biggest problem is that, especially the Republican Party, they want to sell to people. They want to take your guns. They want to take your rights. Nobody wants to take anybody's guns. In reality, what most reasonable people want is for them to be laws to stop people like this dude from going somewhere and shooting up a school with a weapon that you can go to war with.
That's true. My point of view is give everybody a gun and then start doing evaluation. Mental health, do not get a gun. And then we get it from there. If you're a minor, you can't have a gun. If you own property, you can own a gun. If you are a stand-up citizen, you can have a gun to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I don't think anything that comes close to a machine gun or something that could rapid fire, something like that should not be legal. There's no reason for that. A weapon like that can only really be used to kill a bunch of people. You know, if you think about it, if this same guy, because I'm not even going to respect him enough to call him what he wants to be called, if this same guy right here, you know, only had access to a revolver, maybe he wouldn't have killed as many people, you know. But these people show up to a school with something that can fire I don't know how many rounds per minute, and this is the results that you get.
Yeah, that's a sad story, but it is.
At the end of the day,
AR.
responsible gun owners will definitely have an argument. There's arguments in favor of it or in favor against our guns, because we need it for perps and we need it to protect ourselves if anybody wants to come for us or for our family, for our property. Definitely necessary. Big guns that go brrr, that's a whole nother discussion. You know what I mean? Like if it's big enough to fight an army, okay, that needs to be spoken about. But definitely we should have guns. It is necessary. It's in a founding document. We needed to protect ourselves against the government and against people. Yeah.
I just want to say something too, that I don't know why people forget about this, but is it the Second Amendment?
Yeah, the Second Amendment. Yeah.
Okay, the Second Amendment was written over 100 years ago.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Right, or around or close to. I don't know when it was written.
What are you trying to say?
So basically, when somebody wrote that, you had to grab some what was the equivalent of a bullet,
a musket,
put that inside of a musket, put some gunpowder, shove it in there, and shoot it. The person who wrote that never envisioned that you were going to be able to fire 100 rounds in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Therefore, we clearly need to have that modified to reflect recent times.
Yeah, that's a good point right there.
So let me get this straight. Your take is not to get rid of it, but to amend it, to upgrade it, to make it modern.
Exactly. Not get rid of it because people do need guns, but it should be modified because if you think about it, how many people own guns and a certain amount of guns that they actually don't need? Like, do you really need a gun collection in your house? Unless you think the zombie apocalypse is coming, you don't need a gun collection. You don't need 10 guns, 2 rifles, and a musket.
Right? To get rid of that's a weapon.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think teachers should have guns?
Actually, yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah.
You're telling me that a teacher should go there to teach, strapped with a gun on them, just in case somebody breaks into the school?
But okay, so let's say a student get up and has a gun.
Sit down.
You see what I'm saying? Got to be able to defend the kids. I mean, but the thing is, it depends what neighbor you are. If you're in LA, South Central, gangland.
Hey, Johnny, sit down.
You be a teacher. Yeah, Miss Dell, you fail me. You can't be a
That's your goddamn homework.
Yeah, get your homework right now. Teacher, you're gonna give me an A today. Yo, it depends where you at. If you're in LA, gang infested, shit, you gotta have a gun.
So listen, man, listen. Hey, I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, and here's why. When you have a teacher, look, I think a teacher should not have a gun, just like a pilot in an airplane shouldn't have a gun. Why? Because once you put the gun in the hands of a teacher, you open up a lot of different scenarios. It's a whole new can of worms. For example, a student taking the teacher's gun and using that gun to shoot up the school. A teacher overreacting and shooting a student that he shouldn't have shot. So I think that opened up the floodgates. And also, if we're considering whether or not teachers should have a gun, then we really need to look at how fucked up society is. Society is really fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up. What about if you have a gun in the facility? That way you don't have to wait for the cops to come in. You see what I mean? Like if you have somebody, let's say, you know, if you're a student that got an AK and he doesn't know the teacher got a gun, then the teacher goes to the class and boom, eliminate the problem right away. Right away, baby. Oh, you like have a baby, bang!
You know,
unless people get killed.
And then the next day we see the news. Teacher shot student holding a water gun.
Damn, it's a problem anyway. God damn it.
You know what? I think this conversation about who should have a gun or whether they should be legal, what size, there's a whole lot of things that can be debated about guns. That's the honest truth. And that should, I think, goes by community, by states, by locality. What are we talking about? And a bigger and longer discussion that we need to wrap up in this video because this is going to take forever. So
I know, my man. We got to continue this topic with some other.
Yes. At the end of the day, let's predict.
Yeah. I just wanted to let you guys know how I felt about this entity. Fuck the NRA.
Yeah. Damn, hold on. I love guns. Shit. Wait a minute, Jay. I object.
All right.
I love guns too. I love me some guns. But the NRA, nah, I ain't feeling that.
Nah. Yeah, they gotta modify, like you said, they gotta modify the gun law. I agree with you 100%.
Well,
They're going overboard, man.
I'm pro NRA, and that's our prediction for today. At the end of this episode, I'm just gonna say that Nashville shooter was a boy, not a girl, but because of transgender, it gets called a she. God bless her. Well, not God bless her. She killed kids, so good thing they shot her. Goodbye, lady. Any last words?
Yeah, that dude can go to hell.
There you go, kidding kids. God damn it.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna end it right here. Peace.